Today I fucked up by accidentally showing my ass to dozens of people. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/Today I Fucked Up stories posted on Reddit. Today I fucked up by accidentally showing my ass to dozens of people. First of all, I would like to apologize for any possible mistakes. English is not my first language. So, this happened during last summer. There was a concert on a open football stadium in a nearby town, so 4 of my male friends and I decided to go, but we arrived pretty late and the queue was so big we weren't even sure we would be able to go in before the concert started. One of my friends came upon the idea of just going to the back of the stadium and jumping over the wall, and since it was a free entrance anyway, we decided, why the hell not? But the thing was, I forgot I was wearing a maxi dress, and since it was pretty tight around my waist and hips, I wore a G-string. I insisted my friends go first and that I don't need any help since it wasn't my first time jumping over a wall. The wall was around 1,5 meters tall, so I wasn't able to just jump over it. I decided that the easiest way would be to climb on it and then just jump straight down, so I did just that. Suddenly, I felt a breeze on my almost naked butt, so I turned around and saw that there was a rod on a wall that I didn't notice, and lower part of the back of my dress got stuck to it. Since 5 of us jumping over the wall caused quite a motion, people were already looking at us, looking at me and my naked butt. I just stood frozen to the ground for what felt like 5 minutes, when in reality it was probably 15 seconds, with dozens of men looking at my ass, some of them even whistling and catcalling. Fortunately, there was a guy that helped me with my dress and tried to make me feel better by saying that I shouldn't worry because no one saw anything. Even though it was a lie, it made me feel better. Still to this day, I turn crimson red every time I think of it. Today I fucked up by not knowing my GF as well as I thought. For background info, GF and I were living in the same city for about a year and a half. We would spend nights at either of our places, but we weren't living together, and then she had to move away for work, so we did long distance for a while, approx 2 years as such. As you may gather from this information, the most we would spend together at once would be when either of us would visit the other for a few days, a long weekend maybe, or for a whole week if it was during vacation. Fast forward to now, I've moved to the city where she lives and we've been living together happily for about 2 to 3 months now, and everything seemed to have been going smoothly until I unknowingly fucked up last night. So as I mentioned, we would spend stretches of time together, but never long term like months at a time, so I knew most of my girlfriend's tendencies, habits and little quirks. For example, the fact that she would go to the bathroom every night in the middle of the night, and sometimes multiple times a night. To be fair, the GF is quite small and I'm convinced she has the bladder of a toddler, but I digress. So as mentioned, she goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night almost every night and rarely flushes because she knows I'm a very light sleeper. But last night was a bit different. With dinner, we had a few extra glasses of wine, and then before bed, I drank some water, and so in the middle of the night, I got up to go pee, closed the toilet seat down, as I always do, and went back to bed. Fast forward a few hours later, I am back in deep sleep and I am awakened by what seemed to me as my girlfriend screaming because she was getting murdered by some intruder in the middle of the night. So I jump up, heart pounding, I grab the closest object I can find to use as a weapon, and I slowly enter the bathroom to my girlfriend still screaming my name. I go in, turn on the lights, see some sort of fluid seemingly everywhere in the bathroom, and me, slightly out of breath, ask her what the fuck is going on. My Swiss Army knife still in hand, heart still pounding, I realized the only threat there was the urine everywhere threatening the grout on the bathroom tiles. This is when I found out that every night before my girlfriend would go to bed, she would go pee but she would leave the toilet seat cover up, as if someone was getting ready to sit on it to do their business, in order to make peeing in the middle of the night easier for her. I didn't know she did this, and she does this because in the middle of the night she often will wander to the bathroom with her eyes still closed, while half or mostly asleep, not turn on any lights and just sit down on the toilet to pee, then return to bed, which is something she's been doing almost every night for as long as she can remember. But this one night, she sat down, assuming as always that the toilet seat cover was up, began to pee, and only realized as her urine was essentially all over the floor, which prompted her to be frightened into waking up. Afterwards, I wasn't sure if my girlfriend was traumatized because she peed all over herself in the bathroom, or because I witnessed the aftermath, but nonetheless, I went to go get the mop and tried my best to help, but hey, at least urine is sterile. I cheered her up by saying I missed. From that scene from Daddy Daycare. Today I fucked up by letting my phone go flat while driving home from work. I live in Australia, I work in Victoria. The borders are currently closed at the moment and you need a permit to get through. When I left work at 3:30 my phone was on 13%, my permit is on my phone and I work 20 minutes from the border. So I switched it off. When I got near the border I turned my phone back on and got my permit ready. I was stopped in traffic, it's a long wait to get through the border. When I get to the check I grab my phone and it's dead as a doornail. Shit. So they turn me around and say, go figure it out. So now I'm stuck in Victoria with no way of contacting anyone and I have to be at my other job at 5:30. So I go to the library. It's closed. So I wander around with no clue what to do and my anxiety is getting worse and worse. Then I think, I'll go to Officeworks. So I get there and they tell me I can plug my phone into a computer to charge it. It doesn't charge very fast but I get it charged enough to turn it on and put it in low power mode. Then I email my permit to Officeworks and they print it off for me. I contact work and let them know, then I race back to the border, and sit in line for 20 minutes. When I get to the border they look at my permit and then at my license and what do you know, the addresses are different. Fuck. I meant to fix that ages ago. Oops. Luckily they remembered me from before and I think they felt bad so they let me through and told me I need to update my license. I got home at 6 p.m. Today I fucked up by making death threats to the electrician. Like many other stories, this happened a while ago. I had just moved countries to study and live with my partner. That summer, he had a decent 9-to-5 job while I was finishing up some research and desperately looking for any sort of job. These kept me busy and I did go outside for a few things but for the most part, I was stuck at the apartment with only my collection of books to accompany me. That, and the unreasonably chunky unit of a fucking spider that crawled up my leg one day as I was reading in bed. Now, many people are grossed out, disgusted, and scared by spiders. I've fought for my entire life to downgrade the panic attack reflex to a mild disgust when it comes to spiders, so it's a work in progress, but this bad boy really did me in. There I am hyperventilating, flailing to get the spider off me, aware that my arms and legs are already starting to tingle, when this motherfucker scurries off and casually settles in the corner of the open window nearby. At this point, I'm decently ticked off and start to plot my revenge of how I will grill it with my lighter, or smoosh it, starve it, whatever. But he's in such a tactical location that I can't get to him without my hand being uncomfortably close. I decide it's time to nuke his ass, so off I go to fetch the vacuum. As I'm walking downstairs, I'm muttering out loud to myself how it's the end for Mr. Death McConker, and how I hope his body is ground up in the vacuum in the most painful way. Halfway down the stairs, and halfway through a sentence of "You have ruined my day and I will fucking murder you limb by limb," I come face to face with the electrician reading our meter inside the flat. I must have missed the door sound mid-panic, and now this 6'4" great man looks genuinely disturbed, frowns of worry lining his forehead. I try gesturing and word vomiting something about a spider and vacuum, and he forces a painful smile and a nod as I'm quickly losing all my will to live. I grab the vacuum and rush upstairs, only to find that my home slice of a spider has scuttled off to some unknown location. So hours of terror later, my partner is finally home, and after laughing about the situation he hugs and comforts me. But that poor electrician so heard everything. If you're reading this, to this day I am so sorry. Before anyone mentions it, McConk was highly likely just your average house spider, and definitely doesn't warrant my overreaction. I know they eat flies and help out etc. etc. We don't have any dangerous spiders in this country. Today I fucked up while trying to put together an over-the-toilet cabinet. This just happened. I'm currently smoking a cigarette with a glass of bourbon trying to calm my nerves. Hopefully no major damage had been done, we shall soon see. I recently moved into my stepdad's house as I moved cities for work while he simultaneously moved in with my mom. Since he still has to come down occasionally for work, he can't sell his house just yet. He has basically let me take over the house for some dirt cheap rent. I couldn't be luckier. My only real complaint with the house is the master bath. There is zero storage space. It has a pedestal sink, no medicine cabinet, and a shower stall with no shelves. He had some wire over the toilet shelving, which is fine for towels and washcloths, but not much else. I like to get my toiletries from Sam's Club too since it's cheaper, and it's not like soap and to go bad. To solve this lack of storage and counter space, I got a nice over-the-toilet cabinet. It has a large flat area for my beard grooming and other daily use items, plus a cabinet and shelving for storage of my other items. The instructions for this cabinet are less than ideal, but still easy enough to follow. As I'm installing the base over the toilet, I realized one of the cross beams is upside down. No big deal, right? It's just 4 screws and I have my cordless drill to help speed things along. As I go to undo the last screw, the cross beam slips from my hand and falls. Apparently, though, this maybe 1-pound piece of particle wood when dropped from 2.5 feet. 75 meters, had enough force to shear of the water supply pipe for the toilet. Not just the hose where it could turn the valve off, but the one in, 2.5 centimeters, PVC pipe coming out the wall. I have no idea why it takes toilets so long to fill up, because in a matter of seconds it felt like there were a few gallons of water on the floor. There is water just rushing out. I'm a moderately handy fellow. I've replaced a few toilets in my day and fixed some pipping, so try to remain calm and quickly look for the water main shutoff. I very quickly realized I have no idea where the water heater even is, let alone the shutoff valve. After realizing I need backup, I call my stepdad, praying this is not a night he needed his sleep aid. I'm in luck. He immediately answers, probably very confused considering the time of night and the fact we don't talk a lot on the phone. 10:30 isn't enough for me to be calling my mom, but calling him at any time is. My brief moment of relief is quickly ended as we both soon find out he is not really sure where the shutoff valve is either. He tells me where the access panel for the water meter is. I go to check that, but only see the meter, no valves, knobs, handles or anything else that looks like it could stop this torrent of water. I have the idea to go looking near the hot water heater since that is usually near the main line into the house. As it turns out, the heater is in the crawl space almost directly under my bathroom. As I open the access panel to get into the crawl space, I see just sheets of water coming through the floorboards. Now I'm really panicking. Am I about to start flooding the foundation? No time to think about that. Just look for anything that looks like a shutoff. No such luck. We circle back to the water meter. There has to be something there. I start literally digging down past the meter. Pipping comes into view. Could this be it? Could this be the end of Poseidon's assault on my house? There looks to be some type of valve. I will retrieve a pair of pliers and turn with all my might. As the valve tightens, I begin to hear silence in the pipes. I rush inside and no longer hear rush of water coming from my back room. Victory! Alas, the sweet feeling of triumph quickly fades as I walk into my room. For I have only just moved and boxes and luggage clutter my space, all of which have water marks halfway up their face. A puddle extends from the bathroom to every wall of the bedroom. My cat sits perched on my dresser wondering why I've done this. Now begins the cleanup. The part they never show after battles in the movies. After running around and under the house, I'm covered in sweat, dirt and mud. All I want is a shower, but there is no water to waste. The cheap particle wood on my cabinet has already began to swell. There goes $80 with nothing to show. The only good thing to come out of this is how calm my stepdad is. He may not have raised me or share my blood, but he has some more for me in the past few months than my real father ever did for me. Just because we became family later in life doesn't make him any less family than those who've been around for my 30 years of life. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.